The ninth Doctor takes his companion, Rose Tyler, to the year 5 billion to see the sun expand and destroy the Earth. The observation desk, Space Station, Platform 1, is holding an event with the richest beings of the time observing the Earth's destruction. But mysterious metal spiders gifted by the adherents of a repeated meme to the other guests are secretly infiltrating and sabotaging the station. Welcome, friends and companions. It's time for our live stream today. Yes, sci-fi fantasy fans and all sort of fans meet on this channel for fun chats about their beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music, and sport. Random, because we'll discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books, and music. Random, because we broadcast on non-fixed times, actually in many different times. You need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. Random, also because we have no guests or different guests. It depends on join me in live stream or panel. If you want to join me in live stream, feel free to contact me via Discord and YouTube. And we'll look what is possible. The Discord server is called Random Entertainment Channel Tech Doctor Who on Discord, and you'll find me very quick. Cheers, mate, and have lots of fun. Your host, Enigmatic Joker. Yes. Today we have a ninth Doctor story called The End of the World. So, in this story, Ninth Doctor takes his new companion Rose Tyler to the year 5 billion. And before we go into the plot, first some general info of the story. Okay. The End of the World was the second episode of Series 1 of Doctor Who. It was the first instance of time travel into the viewer's relative future in the BBC Wales era of Doctor Who. The story also introduced recurring characters Lady Cassandra and the Face of Bo. I featured the first mention of the ubiquitous phrase Bad Wolf. Though of a relatively minor impact here, it soon exploded into a persistent story arc that continued to thrive across multiple series beyond the first in the revived continuity. This episode is also notable for introducing the last Great Time War, although the war itself was not named until the following episode, The Unquiet Dead. The Doctor also reveals that his home planet was destroyed because of the war, making him the last of the Time Lords. The survivor's guilt caused by his actions in the Time War would stick with the Doctor in future incarnations thereafter, starting with the Ninth Doctor and continuing to be shown in his 10th, 11th, and 12th incarnations. Specifically, he revealed that Gallifrey, as well as potentially every Time Lord, had been destroyed and created a new status quo for Doctor Who, as well as an 8-year arc for the Doctor, with his story and later on focusing on his 10th and 11th incarnations having to deal with him being less of his kind. Though the reveal of another Time Lord having survived wouldn't be known until 2 years later in Utopia. Yes, that's with the 10th Doctor, David Tennant. This status quo and arc eventually concluded in the 50th anniversary special, The Day of the Doctor, where the Doctor discovers the conclusion to this war wasn't how he believed it had been. That is with the Doctors, the 11th Doctor, but also with 10th and the War Doctor. The End of the World was director Eros Lynn's first work on the series. At the time of broadcast, it featured the most extensive use of CGI yet seen on Doctor Who. This was also the first time Jimmy V had the role as a character on the series, playing the Mox of Balhoun. He would also play the space pig in the Series 1 story Aliens of London, and eventually become a regular puppeteer and actor for the compact aliens and monsters seen in the BBC Wales era of the show. So there's also some general info for this story. Okay, we'll dive now into the plot. So spoiler alert. Okay, you can decide now to listen further. Okay, there we go. The doctor asks Rose where she would like to go on her first trip in the TARDIS. She asks to go 100 years into the future. But when they arrive, the doctor says the 22nd is boring. Travel again, this time to 12,005, the time of the new Roman Empire. Again, they move on without leaving the TARDIS as Rose cannot believe his explanation. Finally, to impress his new companion, Doctor takes Rose to a space station orbiting Earth 5 billion years in the future. As they watch in amazement, the sun expands partially. Welcome to the end of the world, the Doctor tells Rose as she looks on forlornly. The Doctor tells Rose that Earth has long been empty of any kind of life. Mankind left it long ago, and the planet was taken over by the National Trust. They have used gravity satellites to hold the effects of the sun back, but the money has run out. Earth will be swallowed up by the sun at last. The rich and powerful of the universe will witness the end of the world, which will occur in about half an hour. Doctor tells Rose that he has no intention of saving the planet. The station has automated systems and is staffed by blue-skinned humanoids. On encountering the blue-skinned steward, who manages Platform 1, the Doctor persuades him that he and Rose are invited guests by using a piece of psychic paper that makes people see what the Doctor wants. The other guests arrive, including the diminutive Mox of Balhoun, Face of Bo, living humanoid trees from the forest of Keem, whose ancestors originate naked on Earth, and from Financial Family 7, a group of hooded aliens known as the adherents of the repeated meme. Rose watches in horrified fascination as Celeste, living human, arrives. The lady Cassandra O'Brien, a piece of stretched out skin with eyes and mouth, and mounted on a frame and connected to a brain jar. The skin needs to be constantly moisturized by attendants. The guests exchange gifts. Jabba of the forest of Keen. Here's the doctor a cutting taken from her grandfather. The doctor gives her the gift of air from his lungs. The Mox gives the gift of bodily salivus and the adherence of the forbidden meme and out gifts of peace in form of metal spheres, even to the steward. Cassandra gives her own gifts. The last ostrich egg and an iPod, actually a jukebox from ancient Earth. Rose is a bit overwhelmed when the jukebox plays classical music, the song Tainted Love by Soft Cell, and leaves the hall. The doctor receives a call about a TARDIS parking place that's giving a ticket telling him where it is being moved. Elsewhere, Rose has a brief conversation with a station plumber, Ruffalo, who is investigating a blockage. At first, she is comforted by the familiarity of Ruffalo's manner of fact, working class manner. But when Ruffalo explains that she is from Crespellion, it is part of the Jacket Brocade, affiliated to the Scarlet Junction in Complex 56. Rose realizes this how far she is from home, with a man she does not know. So she leaves and does not see Ruffalo spot small, spider-like robots in the ducks. A celebrity grab her and pull her inside. Spiders are being disgorged from the metal spheres gifted by the adherents of the repeated meme to guests. They soon infiltrate the entire station, sabotaging its systems. The doctor finds Rose. When she asks where he is from, he brushes off her questions, and the doctor alters Rose's mobile phone so she can talk to her mother in the past. When our effects sink in, mother is long dead. Doctor jokes that if Rose thought the telephone call was amazing, you should see the bill. Suddenly, a tremor shakes the station, and the doctor gleefully observes that was not supposed to happen. The steward, investigating the cause of the tremor, is killed when a spider lowers the sun filter in his room, exposing him to direct heat of the sun's rays. The doctor starts to look into the tremor, and Jabe offers to show him where the maintenance quarters are, while Rose goes to speak to Cassandra. Rose finds Cassandra has had 708 cosmetic operations and considers herself less pure human. The others who left intermingled with other species as he considers them all mongrels. Her next operation, to bleach her blood, is next week. Disgusted that humanity has come to this, Rose insults Cassandra and storms off, with the adherents following her. They find Rose in the corridor, and the leader hits her in the head, knocking her unconscious. The leader then grabs Rose's leg and drags her away. In the corridors, Jade quietly tells the doctor that she scanned him earlier and was astonished to discover he exists. She sympathizes with him, and the doctor is briefly moved to tears. They continue to the bowels of the station, where they find one of the spiders. Jabe captured it with a long vine-like appendage. As the station's systems continue to fail, and as a traditional ballad, Britney Spears singing Toxic plays on the jukebox, Rose slowly wakes up and realizes that she is in a room with a lowering sun filter. The doctor hears her cries for help and raises the filter, but Rose is still locked in. Returning to the main hall, he releases the spider to seek out its master. It first scurries over to Cassandra and then veers towards adherents of the repeated meme. Doctor says that a meme is just an ID and reveals that the adherents are robots as they collapse to the floor. He then sends the spider out to find who was controlling them, and it goes directly to Cassandra. Cassandra has her attendants hold the others at bay, saying the moisturizer guns can also shoot acid. Her operations cost a fortune, and she was hoping to create a hostage situation by pretending to be one of the victims herself and later seek compensation. Now she will just let everyone burn, while the shares in the guest rival companies Cassandra holds will triple in price. Cassandra orders the spiders to shut off the force field, protecting the station, then uses a teleportation device to transport herself and their attendants away. With only minutes until the sun incinerates Earth and the station, the Doctor and Jay rush back to the air conditioning chamber. The restore switch for the computer system is at the other end of a platform blocked by giant rotating fans. The Doctor protests the rising heat will burn the wooden Jabe, but she insists on staying to hold down the switch that slows the fans. Doctor makes it nearly to the end before Jabe catches the fire and burns. He closes his eyes and concentrates, making it positive last fan and throwing the reset switch. The force fields come up around the station just as the Earth explodes into cylinders. The station systems start to self-repair. Several of the guests are now dead, incinerated as the sun's rays burst through cracks in the window. Doctor finds Cassandra's teleportation feet inside the ostrich egg, egg and reverses it to bring her back. She starts taunting the doctor, saying that he cannot do anything about her. However, the doctor calmly notes he has transported Cassandra back without her moisturizing attendants. In the heat, she begins to dry out. Cassandra begs for mercy, and Rose asks the doctor to help her. But the doctor coldly says that everything has its time and everything dies. Cassandra's skin stretches and tears, her innards exploding, leaving only her brain, tank, and empty frame. Rose is sad that in all the danger Earth's passing was not actually seen by anyone. Doctor takes her back to the present in the TARDIS, telling her that people think things will last forever, but I don't. He admits his own planet was burned like Earth, but in the war. He's the last survivor of the Time Lords. Rose says he still has her, and he smiles as she offers to buy him some chips. They have only 5 billion years before the shops close. Yes, they have only 5 billion before the shops close, so not enough time for ships. So, and that, my friends and companions, is the end of this story, the end of the world. End of the story, the end of the world. Hmm. Okay, I will name some cast members. Doctor Who is played by Christopher Eccleston. Rose Tyler is played by Billy Piper. Stewart is played by Simon Day. James is played by Jasmine Benjamin. The Mox of Balhoun is played by Jimmy V. Cassandra is played by Zoe Wanamaker. Jackie Tyler is played by Camille Kadouri. Ruffalo is played by Becky Armory. Computer voice is voiced by Sarah Stewart. And alien voices is voiced by Silas Carson. Some world building in locations. Private Gallery 15 is on platform 1. About individuals, Cassandra calls the Mox of Balhoun a pixie. Gallifrey, Doctor tells Rose his planet was destroyed before its time as a result of a war which his people lost. Some world building in Bad Wolf arc. Bad Wolf is mentioned for the first time, with the Mox of Balhoun stating indubitably it's the Bad Wolf scenario. So world building in species. Cassandra mentions that there are many species out there that describe themselves as humanish, but that is she is the less pure human. And then some world building in culture from real world. Cassandra plays what she thinks is a traditional Earth ballad to mark the destruction of Earth. The song is the racist single Toxic by Britney Spears. Highly irreverent for the moment. Rose calls Cassandra Michael Jackson, referring to that singer's well-known cosmetic surgery. Tainted Love by Soft Cell plays after all of the delegates have assembled. And Fort and Lesping culture from the real world is Cassandra brings in a jukebox and calls it an iPod, mixing the names up. Some story notes. The story begins with a brief recap of the last week's episode, similar to many American shows, but unlike most American shows, there's no voice-over announcing. Previously on Doctor Who, footage from Rose simply begins the episode. The Scouting 1996 TV movie, this marked the first time a Doctor Who story has started with a pre-credits sequence since Remembrance of the Daleks in 1988. That's with the Seventh Doctor, Sylvester McCoy. Unlike the original series, which used the device rarely, it would become a standard practice for the series. with every a few episodes made without a teaser. The exceptions are usually premiere series premieres. Um, um, this is the first time the Doctor has actually been seen to shed a tear on screen. Though he was previously described as crying in prose, skills of injustice when he falsely believed Liz Shaw to be dead. And when Jabe brings up the subject of less bright time, war, the Doctor is seen discreetly shedding a single tear in perhaps the only time that the Ninth Doctor is shown to visibly cry on screen. Um, so Rusty Davies had initially intended to have the last humans escaping the doomed Earth toward massive space arcs. Similar arcs as appeared in the arc. Um, it's a story with the first Doctor and Stephen and Dodo. Uh, this was dropped, this whole idea, when the complexity of the character of Cassandra was fully realized during development. And also notable is that the episode features the first appearance of concepts such as the black paper, time war, and the words bad wolf, which would go on to form a story arc throughout the series. Okay. Another note is that during post-production work, the computer artist at the mill discovered that animating Cassandra was more challenging than they had anticipated. As a result, the number of shots in which she was visible would have to be curtailed. The major casualty was a lengthy conversation with Rose about the fate of humanity. Here, Davies had incorporated oblique reference to the future history of Earth, as seen in earlier stories, such as the pioneers of a series like Colony in Space. Uh, Colony in Space. That's a third Doctor story with Joe Grant. Um, other such series like The Earth Empire Detected the Mutants. That is a story which that is also the third Doctor and Joe Grant and the Mehmet space arcs from the Ark, the first Doctor. So there's some story notes for the story. Okay, some continuity. Um, Rose asks why all of the aliens seem to speak English, as did previous companion Sarah Jane Smith in the TV story The Mask of Mandragora. Um, Pascal Mandragora is a Fourth Doctor story. Don Novo later also asked the Doctor about this and tried speaking in Latin to a Roman. See that in his TV story, The Fires of Pompeii. Clara Oswald was surprised to find herself speaking and understanding Russian. TV story Cold War. Dus, it's, um, that's with the 11th Doctor. And Bill Potts did the same with Latin in the TV story Letters of Light with 12th Doctor. Another thing is that the Doctor implies to Jape that he was on the RMS Titanic. Sixth Doctor had been on board a version of the Titanic and the Titan, another unsinkable ship, so called. Audio, the wreck of the Titan, and the Fourth Doctor also referred to sinking in a TV story The Robot and Invasion of Time. Another thing continuity is that Cassandra encounters the Doctor and Rose again in TV story New Earth. And that is with the 10th Doctor actually. Um, Another thing, Doctor visits the Earth's End with Clara Oswald when trying to uncover the mystery of the Caliban guest. And that is the TV story Hide. And that is also with the 11th Doctor. Okay, and then other thing is that Doctor meets the face of Bo again twice in his 10th incarnation in New Earth and in Gridlock. He later speculates that the face of Bo may be the future form of Jack Harkness, and see that the face story Last of the Time Lords. Another thing is that Doctor witnessed Earth's end when the planet was trailing smoke as it headed towards the sun during the 57th segment of time. Approximately 10 million years in the 10 million years in the future. The last humans left on Earth had evacuated the planet because of the increasing danger that it would fall into the sun, fleeing to the planets such as Revisus II in TV story The Ark and Frontios in TV story Frontios. Cassandra alludes to this, noting they say mankind has touched every star in the sky. The Doctor upgrades Rose's phone into the superphone. He later does this for Martin Jones in TV story 42, and Don Noble in The Poison Sky. But then Doctor. Then Doctor uses psychic paper. In second incarnation, briefly used it during his time as an agent of the Celestial Intervention Agency. She had a world game. The Eighth Doctor carried it on a few occasions. Audio, the turn of the screw, the starship of Theseus, and the War Doctor used it in the latest Great Time War in the story, audio story, Legion of the Lost. Um, Another thing, just as with Rose, Superior Brown's first starter trip was to a space station, deliberately chosen by the Fifth Doctor. Superior could easily see lots of different aliens. They had a taste of what traveling in the TARDIS was like. The link to Prose, the ultimate treasure. Uh, Another thing is the First Doctor previously met the intelligent vegetation in the audio story. Here, there be monsters. Next, the Doctor tells Rose she came first in Diggory Pokery. In Pro's generation gap, the third Doctor mentioned having some experience in jiggery pokery. Nor thinks that Jake would be among those remembered when Davros asked the doctor, "How many have died in your name?" This is in TV story during the end. Then the third doctor previously took Sarah Jane to watch a dying planet. According to another account, it was the fourth doctor and Joan Brown in the comic Doom Clouds. And the last thing in continuity is that Cassandra is not the first claimant to be the last human. In audio cross lines, Mr. Bird, a version of Robin Bright Thompson, who has lived for millennia, says the same to the eighth Doctor. So, and that, my friends and companions, is all I have to say about this story. Some commercial. Sci-fi and fantasy fans and all sort of fans meet on this channel for the beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music and sport, and a special place on this channel for Doctor Who, our most beloved sci-fi series. Watch it till the end, till eternity. Random, because we'll discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books and music. Random, because we're broadcast on non-fixed times, actually many different times. You need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. Random, also because we have no guests or different guests. If you want to join me in live stream panel, if you want to join me in live stream, feel free to contact me via YouTube. You can put a comment on one of the videos, or you can visit me and meet me on the Discord server. And we will look what is possible and what also is possible to invite me for your channel. I'm available to contribute to your channel in a live stream and panel to talk about the things we are interested in, what we like. So feel free also for that. So Discord server is called and then Random Entertainment Channel. Tag Doctor on Discord. You find me very quick because I bump the server regularly. So cheers, mate. Have lots of fun. This is your host, Enigmatic Joker. So I'm looking forward to meet you. See you next time. Bye bye. Bye bye.